It's just harmless flirting, he said, but he never flirted with me anymore. I didn't believe it was a big deal, until I walked into his office party and saw him whispering in her ear. She giggled, "Your wife must be so clueless." I smiled and stepped forward. "Oh, she's not." He spun around, eyes wide. "Babe, it's not what it looks like." I pulled out my phone and pressed play, his own voice, his own words, recorded for everyone to hear. The room went silent. And so did he. I should have known something was wrong when he stopped flirting with me. Nick, 38 male, and I, 35 female, had been married for 10 years. We lived in Chicago, had a nice house, 2 cats, and what I thought was a solid marriage. Sure, things had settled into routine, but that's normal after a decade together, right? At least, that's what I told myself. But then little things started changing. At first, it was subtle. He stopped texting me during the day. No more "thinking about you" messages. No more memes or inside jokes. When I sent him something funny, I'd get a short, forced LOL or just a thumbs up. He used to bring me coffee when I worked late. That stopped too. Date nights became rare. When I'd try to plan something, he'd say he was too tired or had work stuff to catch up on. The physical intimacy faded, and when I brought it up, he brushed me off. "You're overthinking. Work has been crazy." I tried to believe him. I really did. Then he started talking about her. Her name was Chloe. She was 27, new at his company, and apparently, super bubbly. That was the word he used, bubbly. I remember because it wasn't a word Nick ever used before. At first, I didn't think much of it. He talked about work all the time, and I liked hearing about his day. But then I noticed something. Every work story had her in it. "Chloe messed up the report today, classic Chloe." "Chloe said the funniest thing in the meeting." "Chloe is always bringing in donuts." "She's so nice." Chloe, Chloe, Chloe. One night, as we were watching TV, he got a text. His phone was face up, and I saw her name. "Chloe, OMG, you're so bad." I wasn't trying to be nosy, but my eyes flicked to his reaction. He smirked, like an actual smirk, before turning his phone face down. I waited a few minutes before casually asking, "Who texted?" "Oh, just work stuff," he said without looking up. That was the first time my stomach dropped. A few weeks later, we were out with friends when the topic of flirting came up. One of our friends joked about their husband being a chronic flirt, and I laughed along. Nick chuckled and said, "Flirting is harmless. It doesn't mean anything." I glanced at him. "Would you be okay if I flirted with guys at work?" His smile faltered. "That's different," he said, waving me off. "Guys take flirting seriously. Women just do it for fun." That didn't sit right with me, but I let it go. Looking back, I should have known. He never flirted with me anymore. Nick's company threw a big annual party at a hotel downtown. It was always a huge deal, fancy venue, open bar, everyone dressed up. Spouses were always invited. "This year," he said, "it's more of a work thing. You'd be bored." I remember laughing. "Since when? We always go together." He hesitated. "It's just different this year." I pressed. "So no one's bringing their spouses?" "Some people are," he admitted, avoiding my eyes. "But, I mean, do you really want to come?" That was a first. He had never asked me that before. He always wanted me there. Something in my gut twisted. I casually checked our shared Google Calendar the next day. The event was there. Then I checked the RSVP email on his iPad. Spouses were invited. And he had RSVP'd for 2 people. But I wasn't the plus one. I decided right then, I had to go. I got a dress, booked an Uber, and showed up unannounced. No one stopped me. I walked into the venue, scanned the crowd, and spotted him near the bar. Nick. Whiskey in hand. Standing way too close to Chloe. His hand rested on the small of her back as he leaned in to whisper something. She giggled, tilting her head toward him. Then I heard her say it. "Your wife must be so clueless." Something inside me snapped. I stepped forward, smiling. "Oh, she's not." Nick spun around so fast he nearly dropped his drink. His face went pale. "Babe," I pulled out my phone and pressed play. And that's when everything changed. A week before, I had started paying attention. If he was lying about the party, what else was he lying about? I didn't need to snoop through his phone. He was careless. His location history on Google Maps was still turned on. Turns out, working late really meant having drinks at a bar near Chloe's apartment. And that's when I started recording our conversations. Nothing major. Just little things. Him saying, "Chloe? We barely talk outside work." Him laughing, "God, you're paranoid." Him swearing up and down, would never do anything to hurt you. And then, the jackpot. One night, he was on the phone with someone in the other room. The door was slightly open. I hit record on my phone and listened. "Come on, Chloe, you know I'd pick you over her any day. She's so boring now. You actually make me feel excited again. I just need to figure out the right time to leave." That was all I needed. Back at the party, the room went dead silent as his own voice filled the space. Nick's expression twisted into pure horror. Chloe turned bright red, stepping away from him like he was on fire. His boss, who adored me, by the way, stared at him like he was the biggest disappointment on the planet. "Nick," his boss said slowly. "We have a strict policy against workplace relationships. You know this." Nick stammered. "It's not serious. It was just joking around." The HR director shook her head. "We'll discuss this Monday." And just like that, his career was hanging by a thread. But I wasn't done yet. I turned to Chloe, smiling. "You can have him, by the way. No refunds, though." Then, I walked away. Nick tried to follow me. I heard him call my name as I walked out of the ballroom, but I didn't stop. I didn't need to. Because the moment I stepped into the hotel lobby, my phone started blowing up. First, it was my best friend, Lisa. "Girl. What the hell did you just do?" I barely had time to process before another text popped up, this time from one of Nick's coworkers. "Holy SHT. That was brutal. Are you okay?" I smirked. Word was already spreading. Then another text. And another. All from numbers I didn't recognize. "Hey, just wanted to say you deserved better. We all saw it. You were amazing." Chloe left crying. "Nick looks like he's about to throw up. Absolute legend." I let out a breath. For the first time in months, I felt lighter. But this wasn't over. Not even close. When I got home, I locked the door behind me and threw my purse on the couch. I was still buzzing from adrenaline when I heard it, bang. 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 "Nick." I sighed. Of course, he followed me. "Babe, please. Open the door. Let me explain." I ignored him. Walked to the kitchen. Poured myself a glass of wine. Bang. Bang. "Come on, don't do this. I swear, it's not what it looks like." I took a sip. Then, my phone rang. Nick's name lit up the screen. Decline. Then another call. Decline. Then a text. "Please, baby, just talk to me." I rolled my eyes. A minute ago, he was whispering in Chloe's ear, planning his exit. Now, suddenly, he wasn't so sure. I let him knock for another 5 minutes before he finally gave up. Or so I thought. Because the next morning, I woke up to an insane number of messages. From Nick. From Lisa. From people I barely even knew. And when I checked my notifications, my heart stopped. Nick had gone on Facebook. I clicked his profile, and there it was. A long, dramatic post. "Nick, 38 male, I never thought I'd have to do this, but I need to clear my name. My wife humiliated me last night based on a misunderstanding. She recorded me without my knowledge, twisted my words, and now my reputation, my career, is on the line. I love my wife. I never cheated. And I would never hurt her. I just hope she can find it in her heart to listen to the truth before it's too late." The comments were a war zone. Some people bought his act. "Wow, man, that's messed up. Hope she hears you out." But most? Oh, most people tore him apart. "She twisted your words. Dude, you said you'd pick another woman over her. In your own voice. On recording. Take the L and move on. How about you don't call your wife boring and talk about leaving her, and then maybe she won't expose you at your company party. Just a thought. LMAO Nick, you're embarrassing yourself. Take this down." I laughed. Actually laughed out loud. Then I saw her name. Chloe. Her comment was just one word. Wow. I clicked her profile. It was set to private, but her bio? The part that used to say Nick's work bestie? Yeah. That was gone. Less than an hour later, my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. Then came the text. You ruined everything. Hope you're happy. I stared at the message, unimpressed. Chloe. A few minutes later, another text. You didn't have to do it like that. I wasn't even serious about him. But now everyone thinks I'm the bad guy, and I'm the one getting SHT at work. You're such a BTCH. I snorted. Oh, so now she cared about consequences? I typed out a response. That's crazy. It's almost like messing with a married man has consequences. Wild concept. Send. Then, just for fun, I screenshotted her messages and sent them to Lisa. Lisa, I am living for this. Me too, Lisa. Me too. A few hours later, I got a call from Nick's mom. I sighed. I liked his mom. She was sweet. She didn't deserve to be dragged into this. I answered. Hey, Susan. Honey, she started, her voice already exhausted. What is going on? Nick just called me saying you're divorcing him, but he won't tell me why. He just keeps saying you're overreacting. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Susan, sweetheart, you know I love you. You know I've always thought you were too good for him. But can you just tell me what happened? So, I told her. Not everything, but enough. The flirting. The lies. The recording. She was quiet for a long time. Then she let out a heavy sigh. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I raised him better than this. I didn't expect that. Then she surprised me even more. If you need anything during the divorce, you let me know. And if he gives you trouble, you call me. He's always been a dumbass, but he's about to learn what happens when you screw over the wrong woman. I actually teared up. Thank you, Susan. No, honey. Thank you. I don't want that fool as my retirement plan anyway. 2 days later, Lisa called me screaming. Bitch. You did it. What? I asked, half asleep. He got fired. I sat up so fast I nearly dropped my phone. What? HR investigated. Turns out, he wasn't just inappropriate with Chloe. There were 3 other women who said he made them uncomfortable. I blinked. Wait. So he wasn't even loyal to his side piece? Apparently not. HR had been keeping an eye on him, but after your little show, they started digging. And guess what? They found emails. Texts. His dumbass used his work phone to flirt with employees. Oh my God. He's done. Career over. They let him go this morning. No severance. No references. I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. But before I could say anything, my phone lit up. Nick. Calling me. I stared at the screen. Lisa took a deep breath. Okay, what's the plan? Are you answering? I smirked. Oh, I'm answering. I stared at the screen, Nick's name flashing like a roach refusing to die. Lisa was practically vibrating on the other end of the call. Put him on speaker, she whispered. I did. What do you want, Nick? I asked, my voice calm. For a second, there was nothing but his breathing. Then, finally. You ruined my life. I almost laughed. I ruined your life? I repeated. No, Nick. You did that all by yourself. You went too far. You didn't have to get me fired. I rolled my eyes. I didn't get you fired, dumbass. You did. Maybe don't use your work phone to hit on employees? Lisa choked on her drink. I could hear her muffled wheezing. Nick ignored her. I hope you're happy, he spat. I have nothing now. Nothing. I sighed. Cry me a river. And then he said something that actually caught me off guard. You think you won? You think this is over? Just wait, babe. Just wait. And then he hung up. Lisa and I sat there in stunned silence. Did he just, oh, that idiot just threatened me, I said, eyes narrowing. Lisa's voice was sharp. That was a threat. A slow, sinking feeling settled in my stomach. Nick wasn't done. The next morning, I woke up to a text from my bank. Bank alert, unusual activity detected. I sat up so fast I nearly threw my phone. My heart pounded as I logged into my account. And then I saw it. Nick had drained our joint savings account. All of it. Gone. $24,573. Poof. I gritted my teeth. He couldn't legally do that, his name was still on the account, but Illinois was a marital property state. That money belonged to both of us. And considering I was the one who made most of it? Yeah. I was pissed. I called the bank immediately. I'm sorry, ma'am, the rep said. Since it was a joint account, he had full access. We can't reverse the transaction. My hands shook. Where did the money go? A new account under his name only. Opened this morning. I took a slow, deep breath. Is there anything I can do? You can report it in the divorce, the rep said gently. A judge will likely order him to return your share. Great. That meant months of legal battles before I could get a dime back. Nick wanted to play dirty? Fine. I could play dirtier. I called my lawyer, a shark of a woman named Claudia, and told her everything. Oh, he's an idiot, she said immediately. This is financial abuse. Judges hate that. He just made your case 100 times easier. I need to hit back, I said. Claudia chuckled. Don't worry. I've got you. An hour later, I got another text. This time, from an unknown number. You shouldn't have messed with me. Nick. I rolled my eyes. Nice try, jackass. I've already lawyered up. Then I blocked him. That night, I was sitting on my couch, glass of wine in hand, when I heard it. A soft thud outside my apartment door. I froze. My complex had security cameras in the hallways, and I lived on the 5th floor. No one should be lingering outside my door. Slowly, I stood up, heart pounding. Another thud. I grabbed my phone and turned on the peephole camera. Nothing. Then, just as I was about to step back, I saw it. An envelope. Slid under my door. I hesitated before picking it up. Inside was a single piece of paper. A printed photo. Of me. Taken that night at the office party. From behind. I felt my stomach drop. Someone had followed me. Someone had taken a picture of me without me knowing. And at the bottom of the photo, in shaky handwriting, were the words, "You should have stayed clueless." I locked every door and window in my apartment. Then I called Lisa. What? She yelled the moment I told her. There's no way Nick did this alone, I whispered. Someone else is involved. Lisa went quiet. Then, Chloe. My blood ran cold. It makes sense, Lisa continued. She was embarrassed. She lost face at work. And she's younger, impulsive. What if she's the one helping him? I swallowed hard. We need to find out. Lisa's voice turned sharp. Send me a copy of the photo. I have a friend in IT. He can check the metadata, see where it was taken. I sent it immediately. 5 minutes later, my phone dinged. Lisa, holy SHT. This was taken from inside the hotel parking garage. The same night as the party. Asterisk, I shivered. Someone had followed me all the way to my car. Then another text. Lisa, and the IP address on the print order? It's from Nick's old work laptop. My stomach twisted. Lisa, Nick wasn't alone. Me, then who the hell else is helping him? And then my phone buzzed. An unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. You should have left it alone, a distorted voice said. And the line went dead. I stared at my phone, my heart hammering in my chest. The distorted voice, the chilling message, this wasn't just Nick being bitter. This was bigger. Lisa was still on the call. Who the FCK was that? Asterisk, she breathed. I swallowed hard. I don't know. But I'm going to find out. Nick had crossed every line. Taking the money was one thing. Posting his sob story on Facebook? Childish. But this? This was something else. Someone was helping him. And I needed to know who. The next morning, I woke up to another text. This one was different. It was from an unknown number. But the message wasn't threatening. Watch your back. He's not done yet. I sat up so fast my head spun. Lisa texted right after. Babe. I've been digging. You are not going to believe this. Call me. Now. I barely had time to dial before she answered. So. Guess who just quit their job and disappeared? Who? I whispered. Lisa took a breath. Nick's boss. Wait, what? Why would his boss quit? I asked. Because Nick wasn't just screwing around with Chloe. He was covering for someone else, too. I felt a chill crawl up my spine. Who? Lisa hesitated. The HR director. I nearly dropped my phone. Wait. The one who said they'd talk Monday? The one who pretended to be all shocked when you exposed him? Yep. And get this, Nick wasn't the only one who got fired. The company launched an internal audit after your stunt at the party, and it turns out there were some very shady things happening in HR, hiring unqualified people. Discrimination complaints that disappeared. And guess which name kept popping up? Nick's? Nope. The HR director. And guess who personally signed off on all of Nick's promotions? I closed my eyes. Nick's boss. Lisa exhaled sharply. Exactly. They were all in on it. The realization hit me like a truck. Nick wasn't some mastermind. He was a pawn. A dumb, selfish pawn who thought he could play the game, but the moment things got messy, the real players cut their losses. His boss had bailed. The HR director was under investigation. And now, Nick? Nick was desperate. I should have seen it coming. That night, I heard another knock at my door. Soft. Repetitive. I checked the peephole. Nick. His face was pale, his hair disheveled, and his eyes? Desperate. I almost ignored him. Almost. But then I remembered the unknown warning. Watch your back. He's not done yet. I needed to know what he was planning. I unlocked the door, but didn't open it all the way. What do you want? Nick let out a sharp breath. Please. Just listen. I think I've listened enough, I said, my voice flat. No, you don't understand. I've fed up. I really fed up. For the first time, he looked scared. I thought I could fix this, he said, running a hand through his hair. But they turned on me. The HR director, my boss, they're trying to blame everything on me. They're saying I knew about the shady hiring practices. That I helped cover it up. I could go to jail, okay? I need you to help me. I blinked. Help you? Yes. Please. If you could just, I don't know, tell them I wasn't the only one. Maybe show some of those recordings. I let out a sharp laugh. You actually think I'd save you? Nick flinched. Nick, I said, my voice deadly calm. You stole our money. You planned to leave me. You lied to my face for months. And now, because you finally got what you deserve, you come crawling back? You think I'd risk anything for you? His eyes darted around. I don't have anywhere else to go. Not my problem, I said simply. Nick opened his mouth like he wanted to argue. But then his face crumpled. And for the first time in years, I saw it. The real him. Not the cocky, arrogant Nick from work. Not the lying, manipulative Nick who thought he could gaslight me into doubting my own reality. This was pathetic Nick. Nick, who finally realized he had nothing left. Please, he whispered. I took a deep breath. Goodbye, Nick. Then I closed the door. And locked it. Nick's situation got worse. His old company pushed forward with their investigation, and soon, legal action followed. He was named in multiple workplace violations, and since he was already on the company's radar thanks to me, they threw him under the bus. He lost everything. The job. The reputation. The money. And Chloe? Gone. She deleted her social media, quit her job, and vanished. I never heard from her again. It took time to heal. It wasn't just about Nick. It was about me, about the years I had wasted trying to convince myself that things were okay. That he still loved me. That I was enough. But in the end, I won. Not because I ruined Nick's life, he did that all on his own. I won because I walked away. Because I reclaimed my time, my energy, myself. And as I sat in my new apartment, sipping wine with Lisa, she grinned at me. So, what's next? She asked. I smiled. Anything I want.